today. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm as dry as a stick, right enough. Today I'm in Milngavie, which is the common starting point for a hike here in Scotland called the West Highland Way. That hike is more than 100 miles through what I think is some of the most stunning scenery in Scotland. Now, even though I've done this hike several times, that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I'm heading north for a few days. I decided this was a decent enough starting point. There's a couple of places close to here that I want to visit on the bike. So let's go. Now, the bad news today, folks, is I've actually lost the little cable for my mic on the GoPro here. So as I'm riding, then I'm going to need to do a little bit of a voiceover.
The first thing I did when I left home this morning was wash the bike, but unfortunately it's already covered in dead bugs. I've got quite far to travel today. It's at least a 4-hour ride, but this little part of the journey from Milngavie to the Devil's Pulpit is only about 10 miles. Before we get to the Devil's Pulpit, I want to stop at a place called Queens View and walk up to a rock formation at the top of the hill. There's a lot of myths and legends around this rock formation.
Well, so far I've only walked a couple of minutes up this hill from the car park. And already the views are incredible. Anyway, crack on. It's too hot for motorcycle gear, by the way. So folks, Milngavie's at the northern end of Glasgow, right in the northern outskirts. So as soon as you leave Milngavie, you're out here in the countryside. Now this viewpoint behind us here is called Queens View. That's because Queen Victoria came up here to get a view of Loch Lomond 1879. So it's not the only Queen's View in Scotland. There's another one up at near Pitlochry, Loch Tummel, which again is probably even more spectacular than this one, but not much. You can see the sun's out, so needless to say it's quite a warm day. So wearing the motorcycle jacket's not exactly ideal, but got all the vents open, it's not so bad. And this hike, this climb, it's not that far actually. Oh! I've been doing a lot of walking recently, it's good for the health. So why are we on this hill, Martin? I hear you say. Well, this area's got its fair share, perhaps maybe even more than its fair share of myths and legends. And this here is called Whangie or Whangie, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I'll be climbing up there in a minute without the ropes. Now guys, back in the day it was said that there was a witch's coven used to be held on top of this hill here. So the witches would come here and they would meet and they would conjure up the devil. There was another one just north of here. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So one day the devil's running late. These witches are cooking up a storm. They're hubbling, bubbling, toiling and troubling, and they're getting a bit frustrated because they've got better things to do with their time. Well, old Nick, needless to say, he wasn't happy with this. He came flying around this mountain and whack! He split the entire mountain in two with his tail. I bet you that shut them up. There's that boy rock climbing. I told you to get up here without the ropes. Now there are some others who don't believe that this rock formation was caused by Satan. Some people actually think it was caused by a dragon. So a lot of school kids and school parties and stuff come up here and they go looking for the dragon's cave up here. Dragons. Now there are some crazy geologist types who would lead you to believe that this heavy basalt rock here sits on a bed of sandstone, and that during the last ice age it started to shear away. Just the sheer weight of that caused a little bit of a landslip. Right here we can see the southern end of Loch Lomond, folks, so we're going to jump on the bike and we're going to head in that direction. But before we get as far as Loch Lomond, there's a place called the Devil's Pulpit. Now again, similar type of story, but it's very different to here. That's not on top of a hill, that's down a gorge.
I find it really quite frustrating that I've lost a little cable for my GoPro mic adapter. I must admit I'm not a huge fan of voiceovers. Now I know that some people are very good at it, but me personally I much prefer to talk about what we're doing, where we're going and what we're looking at as I ride the bike.
Okay then, probably best to be careful. I don't know exactly where I'm going, folks, but I'm going to follow these people here. Now I see why they say danger of death. You probably wouldn't want to come here in the dark. I'm starting to sweat again. Note to self, don't go hiking with a motorbike jacket on. Now, I'm looking for stairs to get down to this. Apparently they're very steep and really quite dangerous, but I've got absolutely no idea where they are. I might even be at the wrong end of the gorge, to be honest, I don't know. I have no idea, maybe I've walked past them. Right, so I've had to walk back up to the main road, across the bridge. Seems like there's no stairs on the other side. Still trying to find them on this side.
Water, where?
Down.
So folks, these stairs are a bit lethal. So there's a rope for holding on here. I'm going to turn the camera off and I'll see you at the bottom. I've never seen anything quite like this. The water's really bright red, it's really quite obvious. And this little mushroom shaped rock here is the Devil's Pulpit. Guys, legend has it that Druids used to come here as far back as the 3rd century. And then that witches later came here and they used this rock as an execution block. It was then later said that Satan used to come here and preach from that pulpit to his followers, the witches and demons who would come here. and his toes were dipping in the water here, and that's what turned it blood red. But more recently, the Channing Tatum film, The Eagle, some of the scenes were actually filmed here, and that's about the 9th Legion who went missing here in Scotland.
Outside!
Anyway, it's not the best film, I have to say, but it's also a scene from the original Outlander.
Are you a spy for the English or the French? It's an Indian spring. Some folk call it the liar spring. It smells like the fumes of hell itself. If you drink from that and you prove untrue, it'll burn your gizzard out.
Put this stuff in the pocket without losing it, eh? My God. Right, let's get up these fucking stairs. As you can no doubt see, folks, these aren't even really stairs. There's some ropes and stuff here to help you, but the whole lot's just collapsed. If you've got mobility issues, stay in the house, is my advice. What way do we want to go? So folks, you can let me know in the comments what story you think is the most believable. Is this the site of Rome's lost legions? Is it druids and witches, warlocks, the devil himself, St Ninian's waters, or the liar's spring? Personally, I think all of the stories are fantastic. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, maybe even hit that notification bell so you know the next time I upload a video to YouTube. And I'll see you in the next one.